What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Eddie, aka Mr. Eddie Nunez. Today we're going to be talking all about the Mavic 3 Pro. The Mavic 3 Pro had a crazy firmware update, which I think just made this drone much more valuable. And if I didn't own a Mavic 3 Pro today, I would definitely get one after this update. Alrighty, so today we're going to be talking about the firmware that was released for the Mavic 3 series, whether that's the Mavic 3 Classic, the original OG Mavic 3 with the 7x lens, or the Mavic 3 Pro. This firmware covers all of the Mavic 3 series, and that firmware is 01.01.0300. And it's a firmware that added a whole slew of features, and this is one firmware that I am extremely excited about. I typically do not make firmware videos on my channel, and I know at the time of recording this video today, believe it or not, September 11th, and I know I'm a little late to this party, but this is one video that I kind of struggled to make just because every single time I tried to sit down and make this video, there was an error. At that cool bando, I had this lens on my Canon 1DX like zoomed into my face. Then I went to the mobile studio, if you will, a local park near my home, and it just wasn't happening. It started to rain and allergies were kicking my butt. But let me not digress. Let me not get off the topic here. Today we're really focused on the firmware that was released for the Mavic 3 series. Here I'm using the Mavic 3 Pro Cine. Big shout out to DroneWorks for sending this drone over. And this firmware added a whole slew of features. Let me go ahead quickly and run down through all those features, which you're probably very familiar with already, but I just want to refresh you. And then I'm going to deep dive to my top 3 most favorite out of this whole laundry list. So for starters, this firmware added vision assist. It added an AR Homepoint, an AR return to home route, and an AR aircraft shadow. We also got the ability to do D-Log and HLG color modes for the Tele Camera. We added night mode in recording mode for the medium Tele Camera, which supports 4K 24, 25, and 30 frames per second. We added quick shots for the medium Tele Camera, including Droney, Rocket, Circle, Helix, Boomerang, and the Asteroid. We added master shots as well to the medium Tele Camera. We added spear panorama for the medium Tele Camera, added vision, positioning, and obstacle sensing switch. And they, of course, fixed some known bugs, which they never tell us what those known bugs were. So a lot has been added to the 3x medium Tele Camera, which I think is fantastic. Now, I shared with you at the beginning that I'm going to give you my top 3 favorite features, and that's really what I want to focus on, is the top 3 favorite features. And number 1, for starters, has to be the vision assist. The vision assist is incredible. The fact now that I am able to leverage these sensors here on the rear, let me go ahead and open this wing here, this arm, that I'm able to, the fact that I'm able to leverage these sensors on the back and really get to see my sides when I'm flying sideways, I think it's going to be a game changer. It's going to allow me to get those shots that I've always wanted to get where I was fearful or really didn't actually go commit 100%, because I am fearful of crashing sideways. Now you might ask, hey Eddie, but isn't the sensor going to stop you from crashing? And the short answer is we hope so, right? We hope that the side sensors will, but not all the time do they pick up everything. So for example, like I think about my last incident where I crashed. It was with the Mavic 2 Pro. I was flying sideways in tripod mode. I know we can't compare sensors from the Mavic 2 Pro to the Mavic 3, but I crashed because of a thin power line. Now, will the Mavic 3 Pro pick up a power line? Like maybe it could, maybe it wouldn't. But I'd much rather have a view of that, side angle, if you will, so that I can make that decision myself whether I should continue going or stopping. Now, where the vision assist I think is going to be extremely helpful is when flying with the 3x medium tele lens or the 7x lens. That is really where it gets really sketchy flying this drone, because a lot of times you don't know your environment. You don't know where exactly are you flying towards when zoomed into that 3x 7x camera. Now of course in a wide open area it's kind of really safe, and you can kind of really assume, hey, I can continue flying maybe let's say 1,000 feet. I know I'm not going to hit anything. But in a dense environment in the city such as New York, where there's always buildings, there's always trees, there's always power lines, there's always street lights, you got to be really, really careful when leveraging the 3x and 7x lens. And that is something that I've always been very kind of worried about when using that. And I really don't take advantage of the 3x and the 7x lens, specifically doing parallax shots, because I'm always fearful that I'll crash into something. As much as I kind of prep and plan my shot, you just don't know when you're flying up there. And with the 7x camera specifically, you can be actually flying really fast and really ways ahead and not even realize it, because that compression is giving you a whole different dynamic, and it just might throw you off and it'll crash. But now with having the opportunity to use the sensors to kind of get an aerial view, I think is game changer. Although it's just black and white and there's not a lot of detail, you can sort of see your environment, and you can also see how your drone is performing in the air. I was shocked to see in my most recent testing to see how the drone maneuvers in the air. Almost makes you think, right? Am I placing my drone in the most suitable environment? Should I be flying my drone today? Just by the way it acts. And I'm sure that, these drones have always been doing this. And now that we have the opportunity to see it, we kind of get to see that the way that it handles in the air, which is quite interesting. My second top favorite feature from this new firmware is now the ability of having D-Log-M and HLG in the Tele Camera. I think that is going to be a game changer, as well as I color grade, as I get my shots composed. One of the biggest hurdles, and we've heard it from everyone that owns this drone, is the fact that when we record in log or even in the standard color picture profile, sometimes it doesn't always match to your main camera, which is the Hasselblad Micro Four Thirds camera. But now that the fact that we have D-Log-M and HLG, it is much easier for us to go ahead and match that to that main camera. But also we do have now the ability to shoot in 10-bit, which is fantastic and is really going to allow us to manipulate those colors. So that's my second most favorite feature from this firmware update. Finally, the third feature, which I think I'm truly going to enjoy from the Mavic 3 series, is that added AR Homepoint, the AR return to home route, and the AR aircraft shadow, believe it or not. I tested out the AR return to home, and I thought that it was pretty interesting. Being able to see your return back home through that augmented reality is going to be, again, game changer, because in an environment like I am in New York, I want to see what that flight path is going to be. Actually, I think it's pretty impressive how the drone shows you the exact path that it's going to take, even when it's going to start to descend. But more importantly, the home point on your remote, I think, is huge. And we've kind of seen this already in the enterprise drones, but we've especially seen this on the FPV drone, whether you have the DJI FPV or the Avata, or even if you have custom home built drones and you have a GPS module, Betaflight always showed you that H or that home point. So a lot of times you can lose orientation and kind of not know where you are from a home point perspective. And now quickly you can just do kind of an about face or a 360, if you will, with the drone and just search for that home point and know exactly how to get back home in the event that you decide to fly home on your own. Now, all these other added quick shots to the camera, I think it's going to be nice for those that like to use it. I rarely use any of those quick shot modes, whether it's a drone, rocket, circle, helix. I think I've never used this. The only smart mode that I use all the time is, of course, the hyperlapse. But we've always had hyperlapses on this drone with the main camera and of course the 3x camera. So I don't, these new added modes to the 3x, I think it's nice, but then again, I caution to be very careful, especially when doing master shots at that 3x focal length. I'm not sure if the drone is really compensating for its environment, but you especially would like to make sure that you don't crash into anything, and just have fun with those features. But it's something that I really don't use at all. So that's really all that I have to share in regards to the new Mavic 3 firmware update. I think it is a huge update. If you haven't yet done so, go ahead and update your Mavic 3. You're going to be highly impressed, especially with the ability to tap into the sensors and that new AR feature. I wonder if we're going to be getting the features from the Mavic 3 series over to the Air 3 series. I think that's going to be fantastic, considering the fact that the Air 3 has some of the same sensors as the Mavic 3, and we're also using the same 3x camera. I think that's going to be highly suggested and recommended to DJI by all drone pilots, for them to add the same features to the Mavic, to the Air 3. Wonder if the Air 3 has enough processing power to handle that. I think it should. We are in 2023, so technology has advanced, with great leaps and bounds. But anyway, let me not make this video way too long. I've been trying to make this video for quite a while, so I hope you got some useful information from this. Let me know if you've updated. What is your top favorite features down in the comments below. I'll be there interacting with you, and stay tuned to the channel because I have a lot of different Air 3 content coming soon. I'm just getting down to editing those soon for my recent travels, and of course we have rumors now of the Mini 4 Pro. I hope to have that on the channel as well and sharing you my thoughts around the mini drone. So guys, be well, thank you for watching, and of course until next time, peace.